Oh. What's the problem with gay Yankees?
You played Bruce Springsteen last week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you said he had got a load of trouble on his hands when he had a hanky in his back pocket.
Did I say that on air or?
Well, we were just saying that famously on the cover of the Born to Run, Born in the USA album, it's just him, isn't it, with just his backside basically with a red handkerchief.
I wasn't looking.
Well,
I just.
I did it for research purposes for this amazing link. Yeah, he had a red handkerchief, I think, in his right hand pocket, and apparently that signifies homosexuality. Apparently, I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was which way you take. I don't know. Those myths, aren't they?
Right, yeah, well, exactly. I don't even know if this is.
No, well, I read up about it.
Okay.
Right.
Just research.
And it's all sort of, you've got all different coloured hankies.
Are they?
Right? Yeah. Right. And it depends what pocket you put it in
Yeah.
as well. So you've got like the different colours, different pockets.
Yeah.
And
sorry, how many variations are there? Different pockets is what?
Well, you've got like your back pocket, your right back pocket.
But what do they mean?
Pocket. What do you mean?
Well, what do they signify? You can't just tell us they signify something. What do they signify?
Well, some stuff that we don't really want to talk about, to be honest.
What?
Sort of stuff that gays are into.
Right. What do you mean?
Barbara Streisand records.
Yeah, yeah. Eurovision.
No, like a couple of things that were there that I know we can mention. They said something about.
I love what he thinks he can't mention. I love it. Decency. What is this? 1956?
No. But I mean, it isn't just having it away.
Having it away. I love him.
No,
having it away.
You get up to some weird stuff.
I love the fact that he didn't want to offend, but he's offended a lot more people by saying they get up to some weird stuff. Right.
In your opinion?
Yeah. What do you mean? No, but don't. If there is something that I don't know about that it's like you can't say on the radio.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
But what do you mean weird stuff?
Well, one of them, right? If you've got a red hanky, right?
Yeah.
In your right pocket.
Like Bruce.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Bruce had. Yeah.
Right. Well, apparently then Bruce is an armpit freak.
An armpit freak?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
No.
But that's very specific.
Carl.
Seriously.
Well, what? Right. Okay. What else is there then?
Sorry, is there some kind of homosexual body that sat down and came up with this at some point? Well, you said this is getting crazy. You've got like a blue handkerchief in your top breast pocket. I don't know what that means. You need to sit down. There's some kind of summit. Figure out what it means.
Yeah.
It's just that you're not free from it either. So if you were to go in like a gay bar.
Yeah.
Which you might do if you're straight anyway, because they're good places, I think. Right? You can't actually go in there if you've got a cold, because every coloured hanky represents something.
Right.
So if I was to go in, had a bit of a
sniffle,
I could get into all sorts of trouble.
Well, pull out a Marks and Spencer's white linen hanky. That means you like to be tied up and whipped.
Yeah. There was another one. Armpit freak we've covered.
Armpit freak is done.
We've covered.
An armpit freak. I don't really know what that means.
So, right, okay, yeah.
But there was just one other thing, like a blue and white one, is if you're into sailors.
To sailors?
Yeah, if you have a little blue and white hanky, that's in your left pocket.
Yeah.
Right.
Blue and white equals sailor.
So I wanted to ask you something. But again, we've got to be careful here. You know when you wouldn't leave the building that was on fire because you were standing proud.
Hang on, we need this. Some people now who don't know what you're talking about. Carl, you're on holiday.
Yeah.
On holiday in Tenerife, right?
Yeah.
You'd had a moment of intimacy with your girlfriend.
Yeah. A knock on the door. You had to stop and get up. You peeked around the door. It was a fireman saying, "Get out," but you didn't want to leave because you had a. Yeah. It was a little. Yeah. But what I don't understand is you maintained that while looking at a Spanish man dressed as a fireman.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is that the fact? You maintained. I'm sorry to say you maintained arousal whilst looking at a gentleman dressed as a fireman. No. These are the facts and they are undisputed. Right? Did you maintain?
I'm not a machine though. Do you know what I mean? I can't turn it on, turn it off. Right?
But you were talking. I was just talking to a fireman. You'd have probably lost it. I don't know, but you didn't.
No, but the other thing was, I mean, I was talking to Suzanne about it again, right?
Yeah.
She said, what are you talking about that for? Right? I said, oh, it just cropped up, right?
Yeah.
And the dilemma was, you see, I wanted to try and make sure that it was a proper fire because that was the last condom we had, right? So it would have ruined the night. So I didn't want to like. It was like, well, what's going on? Is it? Do we need to get out?
Yeah.
Is it a proper fire?
Yeah. And you and talking to this man in uniform, was he? What did he look like? Was he good looking?
Did he look like Ricky Martin? Say.
Was he good looking? Was he good looking in his uniform?
I can't remember. Can't remember.
Did he have a moustache?
Better play a record, didn't we? Is this bringing it back?
What?
You look uncomfortable. What?
Did you just switch this on with your hands?
I'd want to go. I don't want to know about it. That's why I don't go to the doctors or anything.
That's a good
Brilliant
approach.
And do you remember him saying he's going to die of cancer because he doesn't check his balls. He doesn't like the feel.
Of course.
What do they feel like, your balls?
Like a wet chamois leather.
With 2 marbles, 2 kumquats in a wet chamois leather.
No, but I just.
Why are they wet? Sweaty.
No, they're not. I'm just saying smooth.
Are they smooth?
Yeah, because a chamois leather's smoother when it's.
Do you shave them?
No, I don't.
In case a fireman pops round, you want to look your best. It looks like your head. The fireman pops round, there you are, and he goes, "Oh, nice, smooth."
So you never go to the doctors? What even?
I don't like it.
But if you found some buboes under your arm or something,
I'd wait for a bit, and I'd say to Suzanne, "What do you think of this?"
just see if it develops into plague.
Well, yeah, because you don't you?
Old bandages round your head,
Yeah.
and a bell.
Yeah.
Suzanne, where you are? Can you get me a bell?
Exactly.
Brilliant.
I
There was this kid at our school we took the piss out of for basically the rest of his time there, because when he was about 11, someone said, "How would you want to die?" Right? We do that thing, drown in fire or that. He said, "I want to die of old age in my mother's arms."
How old was he?
Like 11.
Loser.
Now, are you familiar with this thing that they can do if you're dead, right? No, not if you're dead. It's like if you're ill and you know you're going to die, right?
I don't know what this is anymore.
Extraordinary.
Have a rest.
Extraordinary.
Himalaya. What?
Listen,
Go on.
this is an interesting fact. Come on. If you're ill but you know you're going to die.
Yeah, you can have this thing done in Detroit where you get put in a fridge.
Right.
And if they work out, what's wrong with you in 20 years' time, they go, right, that fella is in the fridge. He had that. We can sort it. Let's get him out. And they sort you out.
Yeah. Is this the first time you've come across this idea?
Yeah, I read it the other day. I didn't know
You've
about
never
it.
heard of this before?
It's called
Cryogenically preserved.
It's good, isn't it?
They put you at sort of like sub-zero temperatures, so stop all cellular activity.
So do you stop aging at that point?
Yeah, it's suspended animation.
So, well, what's the law on it, right? Because say if I had something, right?
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, put me in a fridge, and when you've got the cure and that, wheel me out, sort me out." Say if they did that,
Yeah.
and it was like 40 years,
Yeah.
and in 40 years' time they get a cure for me.
Yeah.
Would I have to stay with Suzanne? Because she'd be 70.
Do you mean what are the rules? Should you be allowed to date a younger woman?
Well, it's not fair, is it?
On
It's
her?
like good
No,
news,
no.
we sorted you out, but
I don't think she'd mind. I reckon she'd have the best 40 years of her life.
Yeah. And plus, they're never going to find a cure for what ails you.
That is genius. That is brilliant. You come out, you're cured, and you go, "Oh no."
I love the fact that's what he'd be lying there. If you could think while he was in that state, you'd be thinking, "Oh God."
She's losing her looks.
Yeah.
Just, oh dear.
But everything else as well, like my job wouldn't be here.
No.
No. Although the figures would have gone up a little bit.
Flat's probably gone or knocked down or whatever.
Sure.
Most of my family would be dead.
Yep.
So what's the point? What? How do you know about it? Who's done it?
Well, famously Walt Disney, apparently. I mean, Walt Disney actually did die, but had his body preserved so that should they one day be able to bring back people from the dead,
they need Walt Disney.
they'd think, hang on, who do we have?
But with him, nothing is going to change because when he comes out, Mickey Mouse will still look the same.
Sure.
And plug and all that.
Flare record. I don't know where your mind is. Play a record. It's brilliant. You just say words. It's an apparatus. Now, when we were talking to Carl in the week, the thing is we're talking to Carl is that you come up with something that's sort of like, quite innocent, and he goes, well, once, right? And you realise that it's comedy dynamite. He doesn't know it, but we want to go save it. And he let out, you were filling in a form, weren't you? It was all about your girlfriend thinking you're a div. And it's happened before, isn't it? Because she came home and you'd filled out a form to get a job once, hadn't you?
Yeah.
What was that for?
Granada Telly.
And on it...
Well, let Carl, I'll explain.
Yeah.
You see, this is what annoys me with job applications, because rather than just saying, do you want the job, and what can you bring to this business?
Yeah. Do you want the job is a good one.
Because the thing is...
That's sort of the end for the boys.
No, listen, right?
Because if they say no, I don't think they want the job.
Yeah, but listen.
Go on.
I mean, I presume with what you do, you have to take people on and stuff.
What, in a fight, you mean?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's more important that you're willing to graft and put the hours in.
Sure.
Than say that, you know, you did well at school.
Yes.
Sure.
Because if I wanted to, I could have done well at school.
Of course.
I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
So where's this going? So you had the application form.
So when it came to the qualifications bit and that, I couldn't fill them in because I didn't have any qualifications. And it was also asking about your languages. And I put down English quite good.
English quite good. Ha ha ha.
And his girlfriend came home and seen the form that he'd sent off, and this was a copy of it.
Yeah.
And so she went, oh, you know what I mean? So that's what started, you know, the disappointment.
So they're going to get that and think that you're not English.
I don't think I've got it. It was ages ago.
Right.
How long ago was it?
Oh, well, it was when I was still in Manchester, so 5 years ago.
I don't think you got it, no. No, I think you'd...
That could be a long list.
I mean, there's probably a lot of admin problems in that organisation, but they probably...
But what I meant by it is that, you know, I can speak English, but I don't know all these long words that people use all the time.
Yeah.
Oh! God. Oh, can I just tell this quickly? In the week, I'm talking to you now, the listener. Usually I don't.
Yeah.
Carl said, about embarrassing him on air and that, and he's worried about his education, and he was worried about not knowing long words. Like, we come up with any long words. And he said, no, I was scared, you were going to ask me something about, someone, and he's Eastern European leader. His surname is Milosevic. And Carl said, so I learnt it this week, and learnt it so you can't catch me out in case you start. I said, what? And he said, he thought about it, and he went, Flobodan Milosevic.
Got the surname right, though, didn't he?
So what's his name? What's his name?
That's how Bill and Ben would address this leader.
How would they have said it?
Flobodan Milosevic.
What's his name?
Slobodan
Yeah.
Milosevic.
Yeah.
Well done. Anyway, Carl, look, you almost let it slip then as you were talking about your filling out that application form. There's some big news that everyone needs to know, which we were stunned by in the week, although the more we sort of talk to you, the more it starts to fall into place.
Yeah.
But Carl, what's the story?
That I haven't got me exam results from the GCSEs.
He never turned up to get his exam results.
I was working.
And so, how many did you take in the end? Because you weren't even sure about that, were you? You think you took maths and English, don't you?
Yeah.
And you think you've handed in the artwork for art, don't
Now,
you?
art was continual assessment, wasn't it? Coursework. And what was the that you made?
I made a man sort of putting his arms into a car.
You've made a model of a man putting his arms into a car.
What was this?
So
Sort
that
of like-
one's passed.
Was
We
that,
can
is
take
that
this
this is a
red.
homage to break-ins in Manchester? Was this? Was this? Oh look, he does what he sees.
Yeah.
So
you've
what's
got
it-
that. That's safe. You definitely got that one.
So you've taken art, you've taken English and maths, you think? So this is what we're going to do, listeners. We're going to try and find out his exam results for him and tell him next week.
Live
We're
on
gonna-
air.
We're going to call his school, we're going to try and track him down, and we are going to have a little envelope, and we are going to give Carl, at the age of 29, his O-level results. GCSEs, yeah.
Now, Carl, so you took maths.
Yeah.
You think you took English. Do you remember turning up to do those? Do you remember sitting in the room filling in the forms?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you feel you did?
I don't think I did well.
You don't think you did well? Did you revise?
No.
Why didn't you revise?
Because I don't really believe in it.
Okay.
Well, it's just that if you don't know it, then you don't know it. You shouldn't have to start looking at a book. If I went to like the hospital,
Yeah.
and the doctor said, "Oh, you need your appendix out," but hang on a minute, I've just got to read up on it.
Yeah.
that isn't good enough.
Okay.
He should know, and that's the way I feel about it.
To be fair though,
He did do the revision beforehand.
yeah, they don't usually pass on, like, maybe, like, when they're in practice.
Yeah,
7 years
information
down
they
the
took in
line.
by osmosis.
Yeah, yeah, and bloke comes in and goes, can I just see what you did with that? And I goes, you've passed.
Yeah.
Phew, that's a good one. Yeah.
Good job I watched Casualty.
I just like the way, you know, the things that interest me, I remember. Things
Okay.
like snakes not having ears and stuff.
Yes.
I didn't have to read about that.
No, you just learnt that, yeah.
You saw it on the telly, didn't you? You saw it on that Ian Wright programme.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what Carl said to me. He said, it's actually, I called Carl up in the week, and Reese was with him. You know, Reese used to be on XFM, and he took the phone, and he went, Carl's worried, I've seen that programme. He said, snakes don't have ears, right? He said, so you can creep up on them and pick them up. And he said, Carl's worried. He said, how'd you ever put them down again? Because then they know you're there.
I woke up the other night quite late,
Worried about that.
and I said to my girlfriend, I said, how do you put a snake down? She said, what are you talking about? I said, that Ian Wright thing, this guy managed to pick up a snake. And do you know that thing where they clamp its head on a jar to get the poison out?
I do now.
Right? They did that, but they didn't show you how they got rid of it, and I thought, it could really get nasty, because it's obviously annoyed that you've had its head pressed in the jar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
They hate that.
Now,
Especially as it's in front of their mates.
when you lift it off,
Yeah.
right, you've got hold of it.
Yeah.
If you go to chuck it down, it's going to turn on you.
It's going to go wild, isn't it?
So, I just wondered.
Well, what you do is you never put it down, Carl.
Yeah, that's why
That's what
that
happens.
bloke has got about 11 or 12 just carrying him.
Exactly.
Yeah, you never put it down. You sling it. Who cares?
You just throw it, don't you, really far.
That's not that. I don't think you should throw.
But
snakes.
Carl, listen, don't worry. We're not asking you to get involved with snakes. We're just asking you now. You did.
We got a song with a story.
Yeah, doing that.
What is it?
I don't want to sort of tell you what it is yet, because the song isn't that great. Do you know what I mean? It's not a song that's like an XFM song, but every time I hear it on, say, like Magic or whatever,
Yeah.
I have an argument.
105.4.
Yeah, I have an argument with Suzanne that, you know, what I think it's about, and she says, don't be stupid, it's not about that, and I'll say, no, it is.
And so we're gonna decide who's right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what song you're talking about, and I don't know what the argument is, but Suzanne's right.
Definitely.
No
Well,
doubt about it.
Well, I'll listen, but I'm hoping that once people sort of listen to it again with my thoughts, every time
Well,
I hear
this
it,
song sums up what people should think of you. It's don't believe a word. Alright? That's the sort of links I'm capable of.
If that was in the bag, that's a Sony, then nothing wrong. Carl, are we doing your story with a song?
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Well,
Excited about it.
like what was it the other week? We did
Babushka.
Babushka.
Yeah. Pinball Wizard. You said if he's deaf, dumb and blind, he doesn't even know he's playing pinball, which is...
I just said
Fair point.
don't bother putting money in it. That's all I'm saying. Let him play pinball, but don't waste 20p or whatever. Good point. This week, right, do you know how I was saying...
It is a good point, actually.
It is a good point.
Again, though, it wasn't a documentary. It was
What?
just... It's not... Didn't really happen.
Yeah, well, do you know how I was saying sometimes I listen to song... I like a song to be obvious what it's saying. Pinball Wizard was a good story.
You need a song to be obvious.
In the ghetto, you know, it's a kid growing up and all
the
that
ghetto,
rough area, gets killed for nicking cars and messing with guns and that. Living in the city, growing up in New York, rough area, how you cope with it and that, right? But they've got to be as simple as that. Otherwise, I'm not that
I've
happy.
got a brand new combine harvester.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
about
give you
like
the
machine.
key.
It's brand new.
Yeah.
It's brand new.
But even though it's new, he's willing to lend it out to other people.
No, but what I mean is, if you start trying to be clever,
Yeah.
the story's lost on you, innit?
Yeah.
not necessarily me or Rick, but yeah, sure.
Go on, we know what you mean. Go on.
On primates, yeah.
Well, this song here, right, it's not an XFM song, and you'll probably hate the song, to be honest.
Go on, what is it?
What's the song?
Yeah.
It's Wonderful Tonight. Right? Eric Clapton.
Okay, it's alright. It's a
It's a bit
it's a
sort of
sort of
nothing, innit?
bluesy sort of ballad from the late 70s. Yeah, it's alright.
But I'm always arguing with Suzanne, because every time I hear it, I'm getting different pictures in my head
Yeah.
of, like, what's going on, right?
Okay.
And I'm convinced it's about, like, this little cripple fella in a wheelchair, right? And he's knocking about with his wife. And
We
this
don't
is-
say cripple anymore, do we, Steve? Do we say cripple?
I don't think we've said that since,
70s?
I think it's the 70s when we stopped.
Alright, just a little fella in a wheelchair then.
Okay.
And the story, it's all sort of, you know, how he's being pushed about by his...
Again, that's not literally.
By his wife, she's wheeling him about, what do you
He's
mean?
wheeling him about, they go to a party, everyone sort of looks round and looks at him.
What makes you think that he's in a wheelchair? What's the clues? What's the words?
There's loads of little things. There's like, well, like I say, something about his wife walking around with me and all that. Well, of course she is. She's pushing him about.
But walking around. If someone said, "Oh, she was walking around with me," I'd think they were both walking round.
There's a few.
But that's not. Well, there must be another. There must be a reason why you suddenly thought that fella's in a wheelchair.
Right. My wife's walking around with me.
Put on your makeup, and I feel alright.
No, and she's always saying, "Do you feel alright?" And that she's always asking him how he is.
Yeah, but she's
just listen. Let me play, right? And try and picture the scene, right?
But now I'm only thinking of a little fella in a wheelchair.
Well, have a listen to it, and you know, just everything that's been said.
Okay.
Understand why I'm thinking what I'm thinking.
No, never.
Is that it?
Yeah, there's no clue.
But the thing is, that's what I'm picturing.
But that doesn't mean it happened. You picture people that are half man, half moth. It doesn't mean it's possible. Do you know what I mean, Carl? What you think is usually not true. Suzanne is totally right. There is no reason. I have never ever thought that Eric Clapton was singing about a little fella in a wheelchair. And the one clue in that, there's two, isn't there? Are you alright? Oh, let me say that, little cripple. Right, and, so I'll give her the car keys. Oh, well, why's she driving? He ain't got any legs.
Pushing him around and that.
No, pushing him around.
So we'll do one more next week then.
Okay.
I'm just finding more and more things are annoying me.
Really?
Like, even, like, at that Sony's night, right, you've got a lot of, respectable people going to that thing, you know, people who are high up at the BBC and that.
Yeah.
And just the way, you know, it's a posh night, there's people there with dinner jackets on and stuff.
Mm.
And then I went to the toilet for a wee. Old fella in there. I thought he looks like he's been in the, you know, the radio game for years, probably done loads of award-winning Sony stuff.
Yeah.
You know, all the BBC documentaries they do, in-depth stuff, and I thought, you know, I wonder if I'll be like him when I'm older, I wonder if I'm as good as him. Thinking all that, he's having a wee in the next urinal. Farts.
I know. Yeah.
He just farts. Old fella in a dinner jacket, probably hired. And I thought,
But is that like they try to? They think, well, I better do it in here, and it's sort of like a trumpet, and everyone just goes, yeah, that's fine. What's up with that? You know, yeah, I know what you mean. It's just the arrogance of doing it.
He just did it. It sounded like a lost whale. And he didn't sort of go and try and clinch it. He carried on, and then he went, oh, that was a good one.
Really?
Old fella, must have been about 70.
Oh dear.
And
What, better out than in?
Yeah.
but it's not though. I wasn't brought up like that. You see,
Right.
because I did it. I mean, I never really did it that much as a kid,
Sure.
and then I was at my mum and dad's.
You never did it that much as a kid? What, farted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just like, you know, as a joke and that.
We are taping this for next year's Sony Award, aren't we? We're taping this, what we're talking about now, aren't we? To hand in. Because this is, go on.
But I was at my mum and dad's, right? And Suzanne was sat on the floor in front of me, and she was like, oh, rub my neck, it's hurting. So I thought, oh, and I hate doing that, it really it bores me.
Well,
right?
she's your girlfriend, for goodness sake.
I know, Dale Winton's different, you're getting paid for that, go on.
So I thought, the only way to shift her, I'll let one go, right? So I did that.
I love that!
It's such a loving relationship.
I love that, that's great!
So
like doing the washing up badly.
Yeah.
She won't ask me again, what have you done? I've smashed the cups up and I've written in excrement across the wall. Well, that's no good, isn't it? Well, I won't do it again then.
Give me the marigolds, I'll do it.
I've nailed the cat to the fridge, what's up with that?
Yeah.
Go on.
But yeah, so I did that, and it worked. She sort of got up and said, oh, and my dad said, what you do that for?
What was he thinking?
So I said, oh, I hate rubbing a neck, does me head in. So he says, you know, I've never trumped in front of your mother for 40 years.
Sorry, where was this? Chigley? Why is this family talking like this? Young Carl, I've never trumped in front of your mother in the 35 years. What? I don't know what...
No, it's just that he said, you know, we've done a lot of things in the family that I'm not proud of.
What did he say that for? What, he's never trumped in front of your mother?
He just offered that information up.
Well, he just was surprised that I did it. He said, where have you got that from?
Yeah.
Whoa, you lower intestines, I'd have thought. What do you have to imagine there's a class of farting. Oh, we haven't told our kids about farting. He doesn't do it. We haven't told him about it. We haven't. No, we don't do it in front of him. You have to learn it, do you?
No, but there's a place. That's what I was always told.
Go on.
There's a place for that.
Cornwall.
So, and my mum, you know, it's the same. She doesn't do it.
Right.
If she goes to the toilet to, you know, do what you got to do, she makes sure, like, she'll sort of say things like, "Are you going out for a walk?"
Are you going out for a walk?
Does she think? Does she know that you're broadcasting this?
Well, yeah.
She's probably around at the neighbours now, listening.
Yeah.
Any of you going out for a walk?
Yeah, just out the door.
So she waits until everyone's left, or?
She doesn't like the thought that everyone... Do you know, like, cats don't like you staring at them when they're doing it?
I've never stared at a cat while it was doing anything.
Have you ever had a pet cat?
What do you mean? Yeah, go on.
No, it's just that cats, you know, if you get them a little litter tray,
Yeah.
I remember being told, like, now, when it does use it, don't sort of go and look at it. 'Cause it puts it off. I was the same as a kid. When I had a nappy...
Who comes and looks at you when you're on the bottom?
No, when I was a kid and I was in a nappy, right,
Yeah.
I used to always, like, there was a corner in the kitchen that I'd always go to. And everyone would be
Why
like...
do you go to the toilet?
Because I had a nappy on.
Oh, yeah, right, how old were you?
14th birthday?
About 3 or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And I used to always go to this corner, and
Yeah.
everyone said, right, he's going to the corner, don't stare at him.
And the thing is, I can so imagine you because you've got the same head.
Yeah, you look like a baby.
It's just the baby's head. Put there. Would you put a nappy on for 50 quid?
Now.
Yeah. I'm just sitting, do your work, right?
No, anyway,
Just sit in the
right?
corner.
So I'm not doing that, right?
Come on.
So yeah, my mum's like that, and something else she's good. I mean,
Go.
people might not know.
At dinner party, oh, it's Mrs. Pilkington just in the corner, just don't look at her.
Yeah, don't look at Mrs. P.
She's just in the corner of our kitchen, don't just look away. What's she doing? She's just doing her business. There she is squatting. Are you going for a walk?
Sorry, you were saying, Carl.
Another trick I've learnt from her, right? If you're using, say, a friend's toilet or something, and you don't want to leave your mark, just
Go down the toilet and flush it.
Take a box of matches with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Set fire to the curtains.
Set fire to the curtains causes a distraction.
Burn the place down, have a wonderful crap, and just leave when the fire brigade get there. I don't want to lose complete sight of those. I'll maybe ask you a couple of those in the week just to so you keep your mind on it. But Hitler,
Tell us the story.
What have you learnt?
Do you want to ask some questions?
No, not really. Just sum it up in a minute. What do you
Can't do it
think?
in a minute.
Well, can I ask some questions then? Where was he born?
Austria.
Tell us about his early life.
Right, he was a young lad. He
Brilliant.
What in his early life? Okay.
Yeah.
what's the name? His mum was his dad's second cousin, which is a bit weird.
Yeah.
That is weird.
They had 5 kids.
He's going. Yeah, it's usually first cousin where I come from. Oh, that's unfair, isn't it? There's no need for that.
There was 5 kids, but only 2 of them, including Hitler, including him and his sister survived. The others died at an early age.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, so they grew up, and the mum died and the dad died and that, and he thought, oh, what am I going to do? Because he didn't do well at school, didn't have many qualifications.
No.
Liked art.
Did he have a GCSE in history?
Liked art, right? And then, so he said, right, I'm going to go to Munich. I missed a bit out, actually. Jewish people were in Austria, he didn't really like them.
Okay.
He thought they got, special treatments and stuff, and just didn't like them. So he went to Munich, and he joined the army.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And he was in the army, and he got injured.
Right.
So he went to hospital, and whilst he was in hospital, the World War One ended, and he was like, "Oh God, I want to."
I was enjoying that.
Yeah, So don't, because you're breaking the concentration.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm not even sure I want to join in on this one, just in case.
Okay.
Right. Go on.
Right. So
He was in hospital.
He was in
War
hospital. He gets a bit better. He's never that fit though. He's one of these blokes who was always ill. That was on something like 30 tablets a day or something. Comes out of there, joins some other army.
Right.
God, you know, I knew it all this morning.
I can see it running to ground. I just see his face going, I'm not nailing the fact, am I? And joined another army, and he was
Listen, let's try and help you. So
here's a good bit. I remember this bit. He thought that war to men, right, was like childbirth is to women. That's how important he thought it was.
All right.
Right? So it's like, you know, you fight for 9 months, and at the end of it, you own something, right?
Yeah.
So, he goes on and all that. He's in Berlin.
Yeah.
And he's fighting his way through, like, you know, trying to take over countries and that. And he does he do Berlin? Does he?
Sorry, wait a minute. Is he Chancellor yet?
What year is it? 35.
So let's skip the kind of climb to power. Then he's now the dictator of Germany.
Right, he's in charge, yeah. And this is when, you know, he gets his own back on the Jewish people and that, and he's got his own little armies, and he's setting fire to Jewish businesses and all this. And anyway, cut a long story short, he
Please do.
He when he came to like fighting Britain,
Yeah.
came a bit sort of unstuck,
Yeah.
right? Started fighting.
Not so easy, is it, this world domination, Adolf?
Britain was there. France was helping out.
Yeah.
Americans were helping out.
Yeah.
So he
Well,
thought, oh God, so
a bit late, but yeah, go on.
he goes into a bunker in Berlin,
Yeah.
and it's all kicking off.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, Germany sort of surrenders.
Yeah.
Says it's all over, forget it, we can't beat you. He was really annoyed with this, and he thought, oh, I can't show my face around here. So
Because it would be embarrassing.
he's with his missus, who nobody knew was his wife,
Right.
Eva, in this bunker.
Yeah.
And so he said, I've had enough of this. He shoots himself.
Yeah.
She poisons herself, and the chauffeur buries them or something, or burns them.
Right.
And in all the time he was in charge, 50 million people died.
So that's 1918 to 1945.
Yeah.
Between
It felt like that.
between Travis and the Red Hot Chili Peppers next week. That's fantastic.
That's remarkable. I have to say that you sort of lost your grasp somewhere along the line, because you started off confidently, but you lost your
I've had a really busy week, and last night I was like whizzing through it.
Sure.
And then this morning I woke up, and you know, Suzanne had been away for about 3 days, right?
Yeah.
I hardly spoke to her. She's been busy, I've been busy. First thing to say when I wake up, oh, just ask me some stuff on Hitler.
You old romantic. That's great.
That's how stressful it's getting. But I knew it all this morning, honestly.
No, but that's fine. I think you've summed up the, you know, you've done that.